I'll let CJ see that.
Well, always giving him problems. That's all over the place.
Dude, it's crazy in here. I don't know who these people are, especially him.
How much competition is there going to be just right off the bat?
Man, it's going to be great competition. You know, obviously the four guys, you know, X, Murphy, Masco, KJ, and then you got, you know, Greg and Kevin. So that competition, man, that's what you want. You know, to be honest with you, I think it brings the best out of all the guys, and it just, you know, keep guys from being complacent, thinking they got a position. And so that's the thought process moving forward. Like, well, you got to earn the right to run out on the field, and I'm constantly telling my guys to push the guys in front of me, all right, and embrace the competition. And so I'm looking forward to it.
For Xavier to come back for another year, what does that kind of mean for you, and what are you excited about?
Yeah,
to get him for one more.
Yeah, I mean, you know, anytime you get a chance to get Xavier Thomas back, you know, that's a big deal. And when he said he was coming back, man, I was fired up. Obviously, a guy with that kind of experience, athleticism, you know, I think he's eager to prove a lot of people wrong. We all know what he can do. It's just a matter of now just going out there, executing it, getting it done. So we're excited to have him back.
And you and Coach Eason, recruiting-wise, what do you think has worked with y'all two? I know you brought in a number of big guys,
right,
specifically, but what dynamic is there between y'all two that's been so effective at the defensive line recruiting-wise?
Well, I think at the end of the day, just identifying what the need is and the guys that we want to fit the profile of what we're looking for. Kind of high-character kids that love the game of football, love the grind. That's what we're looking for, and you know, at the end of the day, man, we just trying to be ourselves. You know, not try to be anyone else. Just be who you are, and I think kids see that, and they want to be a part of a program like that. And so, we constantly talk about, you know, who we want as a staff, and we go out and identify those guys, and you know, try to get them here as soon as possible.
You can tell me where I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like you have four known entities in those top four. Then you kind of have Kevin and Greg, who've been around for a little while. Where does Cade and Zaire kind of fit in all that, and how important is this fall camp for those two guys? Really, those four guys?
Right. Well, you know, I said in the spring, man, that I wanted to definitely give you know, Greg and Kevin a lot of reps. Right. All right, because I'm losing four guys, so it's important that they get the game reps, get as much reps as they can possibly get. So coming out of spring, I felt good about Greg and Kevin. Now, Zaire and Cade, they're developmental guys, didn't get a lot of reps, played a lot of scout team last year. So it's super important that they get the reps this fall as much as we can. Obviously, I got to get my guys ready to play, but so far, even this summer, they've done a good job in the weight room, doing all those things that needed to happen. But it's super important that they continue to progress at a high level, and they're doing that. So I'm anxious to see those guys put the work in this fall.
I'm sorry, I got here late. I think you were just talking about those two guys, but just if you didn't have so much depth, how would you feel about sending Zaire and Cade out there right now? Kind of
That's a good question. You know, I would be concerned. You know, because they don't have the reps, and so it's important that they continue to develop in the classroom, learning the system, learning what we're doing technique-wise, fundamentally-wise, and then, you know, getting out there and try to execute at a high level. And they know that, you know, and hopefully, you know, we got a few weeks to go before we start up. You know, we're now having segment meetings with our guys, trying to, you know, get caught up. Now we're back in football mode. We're talking football techniques and things like that. So there's a learning curve that needs to happen, and I'm hopeful that, you know, they're you know, from a you know, up top standpoint, from learning and understanding what we do. Hopefully they can get it, and then now it's just you got to transfer it over on the football field. And I have confidence they'll be able to do that.
KJ, to me, seemed like he kind of mid-season took that next step, the one that everybody's kind of been waiting on. What was the impetus for that? What caused it? Did you see it?
Yeah.
What caused it, and can he go even further this year?
I think KJ just really he got healthy. He was banged up a little bit. He was having some knee injuries, and I just think, man, we put him in positions where he felt like, man, I just got to play free. I can't worry about things I can't control. I think early on, he was worried about who's starting, why I'm not starting, things like that. But that dude worked his butt off, man, and he went out there and he did everything that we thought he could do. And I think at the end of the day, it was about confidence. And I think he got confidence in himself to go out there and play at a high level. And I'm proud of him. I know for sure that he's going to have a great year. I think the leadership that KJ has always displayed, man, has been on full display in my group. He's taken on that role and he's done a really, really good job. So I'm looking forward to KJ to really have an outstanding year.
Speaking of KJ, what has it been like for him and Xavier Thomas to be able to return for that one final year? And what is their leadership meant for this position going into this season?
Well, at the end of the day, I was talking to my wife the other day. I've been with these guys. This is 6 years. All right, and, this is, man, it's unbelievable how we've all matured in that position, in that role. I think I matured as a position coach. They matured as players, and this is our final ride together. And I'm excited. Obviously, when Xavier Thomas said he was coming back, man, that was a big deal. Okay, that's a big deal. And I'm glad. And now we get a chance to hopefully go out and play at a high level. Be productive on the field. Live out the dreams that they want as players, and I think they have that opportunity. KJ is he's a leader. He's a vocal leader. Xavier Thomas this season has, obviously this offseason has been more of a leader by example. He's gotten his body in great shape. Mentally, he's good. He's got physical. He's always been a physical player. He got bigger, stronger. He's leaned out, just changed his body type. So I'm pleased with the effort so far in those guys.
Coach Richardson mentioned earlier that nobody on the staff really felt like last year was a down year.
Yeah.
So can you kind of elaborate on that and maybe how that affects y'all's feelings entering this year?
I don't think it was a down year. We won 10 games, and obviously we didn't get the goal of going to the playoffs, but to win 10 games, man, that's huge. And I think at the end of the day, you got to have appreciation for winning. We learned that. Coach Sweeney talks about that. We talked about that as players at Alabama. Coach Stallings preached that. You got to have an appreciation for winning football games, and we won 10 games, man. So it wasn't a down year in my opinion.
XT told us in the spring he got too fat.
Yeah.
He was really open about it.
Right.
And it seems like it's just been a process with him getting the body right, getting the mind right. Is this the best he's been since he's been here in both spaces? And what do you kind of expect out of him? Not numbers-wise,
right,
but just out of the man.
Yeah. Well, it is the best. I said last year, XT, that was the best version of Xavier Thomas.
Right.
In every area, right? And Xavier got baptized this offseason. He's changed his life, man. He's changed his perspective on things. Just the way he's working, he changed his body. He's just a different dude, and that's what we want from him. And so now he just got to have some great things happen early, and just continue that progression. And I'm just looking forward to seeing him play, and being there and to be a mentor, to lead him, to advise him when he needs my help. I've been around Xavier. We've gone through a lot together, personally, and I feel like, I know everything about him, man, and I want him to have success, like I want all my guys. but Xavier Thomas, I want him to have some success.
We've been talking for a little over 9.5 minutes. Haven't mentioned the guy by the name of Miles Murphy yet.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
yeah. Hey man, he's special. He's special.
What does he do? Like, he was good last year.
Yeah.
Really good.
Right.
But what does he do to then take that next step?
Right. Well, you know, Miles should have had double-digit sacks last year, and very capable of doing that. I think now we just have to finish. You know, he's done a good job with his body. He's done a good job of getting in the best shape that he could possibly be in. He's already big, strong, fast, explosive. Now it's just about the finish. And he's working on that with D-Love, our strength conditioning staff. He's doing, you know, prehab stuff, all the things that he needs to do to be functionally ready to go out and execute at a high level. Now it's just when you get on the field, you just gotta get the job done. And I believe Miles Murphy. I believe in Miles. I trust Miles, and he's gonna have an unbelievable season.
When I look at his size, I see the explosiveness in his hands.
Yeah.
That first step, I can't figure out who he reminds me of. He's definitely Miles Murphy. But is there anybody that you've played with, against, coach, that he kind of reminds you of him?
You know, man, I try to be careful and not try to compare. You know, I think all I can tell you, man, is that, you know, Miles Murphy is just freakish. Not many that you know that you can find like him. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Coach, how do you feel about your overall team going into this year?
I feel good about it. I feel good. You know, at the end of spring, you know, we left out with 6 guys. Obviously, you know, I would love to go into the fall with 6 guys that can go in and execute at a high level. But I feel good about my depth. I think guys can go in and play. You know, now it's just, you know, getting Zaire and Cade Denhoff, getting them ready, and that's kind of the thought process moving forward.
Coach, what has been something that during spring that this group has improved on the most, and what's your area of emphasis going into the summer?
Well, my word this summer was, even at the end of spring, was being consistent. All right, consistency, man. You know, we got to continue to get better, you know, and not make a lot of mistakes. You know, no mental errors, no missed tackles, missed sacks, missed opportunity, things like that. My goal is, hey man, let's go in with the thought process of every day, let's get better. All right, let's get focused in on the main thing, and that's what I'm looking for. But consistency is the big thing.
Back to Miles for a second. If you pay any attention to mock drafts this time of year, he's already a guy that you see in the first round of a lot of these. Is he someone that puts any stock in that, or is he just kind of laser focused on what he has to do on a day-to-day basis to get better? Yeah,
I don't think Miles worried about that. He's not that type of player, that type of young man. His focus is what can he do to help this team, and everything else to take care of itself. So Miles knows that he has an opportunity. All right, but you know, at the end of the day, if you don't go out and play at a high level, you know, you may not get that. But I think he's focused in on getting his body in shape. He's focused in on how he can help our team and the expectation that we have from a D-line. That's kind of been his focus.
What do you think are going to be some of the differences between Coach Goodwin and Coach Venables?
That's a loaded question. It's a lot of differences. You know, I think Wes is just going to be who he is, and you know, Wes is. I think going into this spring, we as a staff decided to slow down the installs, really to help our guys. You know, Coach V, he is a energetic, fiery guy. You know, that's not Wes' personality. And But at the end of the day, they both love the game of football, and they love calling defenses and all those things. So I don't think, from that perspective, you won't see any changes.
He's a younger guy in the grand scheme of coaching,
Yeah.
So, I mean, that speaks to a guy that has a degree of talent that they've been able to progress so quickly. So, someone that's on the outside, can you describe what exactly that looks like? What's allowed him to progress so quickly?
Oh, he's smart. Super smart. He's been around great coaches, great defensive minds. He does a good job of just simplifying things, understanding football, understanding defenses, and I think that's helped with his progression. And kids, our players can relate to that. They relate to him. He's a great person, and we're excited to have Wes and to be a part of what we're trying to do defensively, and having Wes and Mickey lead us. I'm excited for that.
Speaking of that, so in the bowl game, everybody's got a new role. You're up in the box, Wes is down on the field. When the bowl game was over, and the defense had played so well, what was the thought? Like, how did you guys grade yourselves? And did you go, wow, that was as good as could be expected? Or
Well, we were excited. First of all, happy to get the win. We heard all the naysayers and all the stuff. Clemson defense left. Coach V left and all that. But we wanted to go out and prove that we could. Our guys still can play at a high level, and we were excited. We were excited about what our players were able to do and how we came together as a unit defensively and held everything together. And so that's the confidence that we have, and we want to be great. We want to be great as coaches. We want to be great defensively. Coach B has set the standard here at Clemson, at defense, and we want to continue with that standard defensively.
What do you think about how people say Venables is gone, this defense isn't going to be as good? What do you personally feel when you hear that?
It don't bother me. I played defense a long time. I've had many defensive coordinators. The standard is the standard. For a long time, Clemson defense has always been strong, and so it doesn't bother me, man. I think at the end of the day, we got a job to do, and we're going to do that. So, but the standard is the standard.
Give us an idea how freakishly talented this defensive line is.
Give an idea.
Yeah.
They're across the board. We got about 7-8 guys that you think about Murphy, KJ, Brazil, TD, all of them. They're all we're deep. We're 3 deep, and Coach Sweeney used the deal with trying to compare the 14 D line. And we're very close to that. Obviously we got to go out and play, but this is a very talented group, and but there's a high expectation in that. The expectation has always been there, and now our guys we got to go out and play. Don't read all the clippings, people telling you how great you are. Just lock in and go out and execute, play at a high level, be dominant, and let everything else take care of itself. But this is a very talented group.
What step do you think Miles will take this year?
What step? I think he'll be a double-digit guy, sack-wise. I think he's proven that he has all the ability to be able to do that. Now it's just a matter of going out and finish, like I said earlier. Just got to finish those opportunities, finish those sacks. But I expect Miles Murphy just to be dominant.
You mentioned Greg and Kevin sort of your 5th and 6th defensive ends back in the spring. How much confidence do you have in those guys if you have to put them on the field and play some significant snaps in your top 4?
Yeah, I'm very confident now coming out of spring practice that they can go in and execute. As we start fall practice, we'll get more reps. They'll get more reps with the first team. And I feel good. I feel good, man. I left. When I think about Greg, I think about both of those guys were former linebackers that moved to the end, and to be able to buy into what the defensive end position looks like, it's been really good. So I have full confidence that they can go out and play.
Going back to Wes for a minute, I've heard some stories about him and his brain. Is there a Wes story that game planning, or during sometime he's just kind of surprised you with, like, how did he know that, or how did he remember that? Is there a Wes story that you like to tell?
I wish I had one, man. All I know is if Coach V would ask Wes about, hey, something happened in 2014 or 15 or even 13, and Wes I'm telling you, he can find the clip right then and pull it up, or he can just state exactly what happened. So I'm always not surprised. I've been around Wes a little bit, but at that moment, sometimes it just shocks me that I can barely remember last week, and this guy goes back. He can remember 2012, 13. It's unbelievable. But I don't have many West stories. I really don't.
You'll get some.
Yeah, I will.
How unique is that in the profession to have a guy who has almost instantaneous recall?
It's very unique. It's very unique, man. It blows my mind because I'm like, how are you able to do that? But it's you find guys like that, and Wes is one. He's unbelievable, man. He is super smart, like I said. We had a position. I had a position coach that Wes used to work for in Ellis Johnson, and so Wes and I have stories about Ellis that we constantly talk about. But Coach Johnson will talk about Wes as a super smart guy. Say, hey, whatever Wes says, you better believe him. And so I keep that in the back of my mind when I think about Wes.
We've talked over the past about getting plays in faster.
Yeah.
Does that help Wes standing there on the sideline being able to say, okay, they've come out with two tights and a back offset, so I know what's coming, and can get a play in quicker?
Right. Well, I think it does. There's a lot of information that happens, trying to process what's personnel, what's down the distance, who's in the game, all those things. And I think it does. I think it helps for him, and he could better probably answer that for you, but I think for him, just getting all that information and processing it helps him in that regard. And being up top, Mickey and I we're looking at things as well. I don't know if I'm talking to the D-line guy, and Mickey's talking to Wes, and there's just a lot going on, man, a lot of communication. But those guys do a great job with that.
Coach, you go way back with Dabo.
Yes, sir.
Is it hard to believe that he's now the, quote, old man among coaches in the ACC, the longest tenured coach?
Well, I got a 30-plus year history with Coach Sweeney, and man, it's been. I tell you this: the first time I walked into his meeting, we were in a staff meeting, and he was talking, and he was just leading the charge, and I was taken back. I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. I didn't know Dabo could do that type of thing, but I'm not surprised by it at all. I saw it as a walk-on. I saw his work ethic. I saw his details and all that he did, and just his relationship that he had with his teammates. I'm not surprised at all.
Looking back to the transition, what was the hardest part of the transition like that? We have somebody who's been here for so long and so much of an institutional part of what's going on. Just in hindsight, what do you think? Looking back at that transition,
I guess the unknown, like what's going to happen. How we're going to look on the field in the bowl game. We're going to get the buy-in from the players. That part, the unknown of that was at the beginning. It's like, okay, what's going to happen? But after a while, man, you saw the kids, the players. They bought in and they came to work, and we put out a good product. And our guys played fast. They played well. And so, after that, we wouldn't worry about it anymore. We didn't think about it. We're like, okay, here we go, guys. Let's get it done. But like I said earlier, Coach B, he set the standard defensively in the way our guys played, and that standard is still there. And that's what we want to, as a staff, that's what we want to do. We want to keep that same standard.
What do you think about all this realignment talk? Rumor of Clemson to the SEC. Have you paid any attention to all that?
I don't, man. You know, yeah, that's for the ADs and the presidents, commissioner. You know, I'm a football coach. My job is to get my guys ready. I don't really worry about it. You know, we play Georgia Tech, and that's kind of our focus as coaches. Yeah.
Apologies if you've already been asked this, but KJ's a guy with a big personality. We'll be hearing from him tomorrow. He's got a ton of experience.
Yeah.
What does he bring to this unit?
He brings a lot. KJ is very savvy. Obviously, he's smart. He's a coach's son, so he knows the game. He's been around. I love KJ. I love that. You know, he's now my leader in my group, and he's taken on that role, man. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see his progression continue to get better, and the way we're going to utilize him this fall. I'm excited to see that. So,
what's it like for you watching a guy like that develop from his first year here to becoming the leader of the unit?
Yeah, I'm happy for him, man. Because if you think about KJ, he remember he decided he wanted to be redshirted, and he told Coach Sweeney, he said, "Hey, I want to get redshirted," and he made our decision when that happened. He made it easy for us in terms of what we're going to do with KJ. And so he saw it. He had some self-awareness. He saw what he needed to do. And now, you're just seeing the progression from freshman year to even last year. To me, was a breakout year. Okay, and then this season has the opportunity to, help himself in the draft. Be the kind of player he wants to be. So I'm excited for him. I know he's excited. He's worked his tail off. He's changed his body composition. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten stronger. So he's doing a really good job. Yeah.
Miles compared to some of the best defensive ends you've not only been around but seen as far as his potential ceiling.
The ceiling is off the charts. I heard someone mention him very similar to Gaines Adams at one point. I've heard that name mentioned. But the thing about Miles is he's so fast. He's just freakish. Explosive, long. He's 275. 6'5", close to 6'6". He's a great young man. He doesn't get caught up in all the stuff that's going on with football. He's just an even kill type of young man. So I've been around a lot of great players. Even the ones I was with at Alabama, he's definitely on that level with a lot of those guys.
Those rotational guys that all started games at end, is it going to be, I think last year you guys kind of did it like a week-to-week thing.
Right.
Is that going to be similar this year, or have you gotten that far?
I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah.
I think, our process has been, since I've been the coach, is how you do during the week of practice. Obviously, somebody got to run out there first, and then it's based off that. It's based on how you practice, how you play, things like that. So we're going to continue that. I'm really excited that I have enough depth that guys can push each other, right? And there's competition all over the place, and that's going to help. That's going to help our guys a lot.
I think XT was kind of joking. We asked him, what can you do at 255 that you can't do at 265? And he said, you'll see. Do you know if he's down to that weight at all?
I don't know the exact weight.
Yeah.
I know he's not as heavy anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact weight, but man, he's moving. He's bending well. He is faster. He's twitched up. Very explosive. And we talked about getting to that 55, but I don't know his exact weight right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Appreciate
the radio.
Okay.
We'll have Wes Goodwin in the middle, Mickey Conn on the